Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the 5th IBA Global Boxing Forum. My name's Andy Clark. I'm an IBA boxing commentator, and I will be your host for the next couple of hours. We've made it to the end of another year in boxing, nearly. As we all know, there is no such thing as a dull year in boxing. A lot has been achieved this year. A lot of really good work has been undertaken by the organisation. And over the next couple of hours, we'll be taking a look back at all of that. We'll be hearing from a number of people about what has been going on, about plans for the future. So it should be a very illuminating and inspiring next couple of hours ahead of us. First of all, let's start by having a look at the achievements of the past year up on the screen. So now I will present the statistics for 2024. As it said on the screen there, everything that has been achieved this year is, of course, achieved with the backing of the President. And it gives me great pleasure now to invite up onto this stage the President of the International Boxing Association, Umar Kremlev.
Добрый день, мои уважаемые братья и сестры. Я очень рад вас всех здесь видеть. На самом деле бокс – это больше, чем спорт. Бокс – это флагман спорта. Бокс объединяет людей. И сегодня мы видим всех наших братьев и сестер. Здесь звезды бокса. Здесь также и чемпионы мира, и олимпийские чемпионы, которых мы будем награждать, как кто Олимпиаду выиграл, как
giving our medals as an
IBA,
Olympic
Международная ассоциация бокса, которая
and the IBA
является
champions.
боксерским домом. Я хочу поблагодарить всю боксерскую семью свою за доверие, за преданность боксу. И для нас самое главное – это забота о спортсменах. Забота о тренерах, забота о национальных федерациях, потому что благодаря национальным федерациям, тренерам и боксерам существует Международная ассоциация бокса, IBA, боксерский дом, мировой боксерский дом. И, конечно, все, что Международная ассоциация зарабатывает, эти деньги должны принадлежать боксерам, тренерам, национальным федерациям. Для этого, в принципе, и существует эта площадка, где мы должны объединяться. И взять историю бокса, начиная от Мухаммеда Али. Я очень рад, что здесь семья его присутствует. Вот, очень большой поклон. Хочу сказать, что бокс всегда был вне политики. Бокс за мир, за объединение людей. И IBA as International Association of Boxing, which is from the childhood, is developing the people. When the child is going to the kindergarten, then to the school and the university, and we developing and growing up the champions and boxers who remain and living in their houses and their motherhoods, and they can develop themselves in the boxing area, their skills, and gain money and build their own future. And every parent who's sending their kids to the boxing sections, they will be sure that their kid will not be left alone, and they will be very sure that their kid will be realizing himself and his potential, and will gain the social elevator. And therefore, we are making the big prize money. Therefore, we are striving for the medals to be awarded to the respectful and those who deserve the gold. These are the small things, but they're very important. Every boxer is coming to the global arenas just to represent his own people, his own country. Every boxer he's like a protector of his own country, and he's proud of that. Just because on the global area, he represents his own country. And our main task of the IBA is to create the necessary facilities and the necessary all the arrangements for the kids to be able to travel to international competitions. So children should not be afraid of that they're not having enough gloves or any other equipment in order to be able to go to international competitions. Therefore, we have a special platform where every single sportsman can approach, and the National Federation IBA can provide the equipment necessary for attending these international events. Also, we are providing financial support to develop the boxing federation inside the country. And it's a very important thing, because our unity here gives us the strength for development. If we see something, a weakness, we should not just keep mum. We have to stand up and say about it. As of now, as of today, I'm not here as the CEO. I'm just your brother, because all of you are brothers and sisters to me. This is how do I approach to my boxing family. And every one of you can approach to me personally. I'm available 24/7. Because also the IBA is available 24/7, and me personally, I'm also available for you, just to we all can realize all our projects, we create our future to our children. This is the most important thing, because for me the boxing is just my soul. And when we conduct any competitions from the childhood, I had some dreams that we didn't fulfill, and I truly hope that nowadays all the boxers are fulfilling their dreams, because in my time we didn't have gloves, we had maybe one pair of gloves for 10 to 15 people, we didn't have a uniform, and this is why I'm paying attention to this program of special aid to the national federations. We are giving out the gloves, the helmets, so everyone will be able to participate. And now I'd like to address the national federations. If on the competitions you don't have enough financial capabilities, you can approach to me. We can help. We will be helping every single country to participate in international competitions. And if the boxer is in difficult situation, wherever he is, which part of the world he is now, we are as IBA, office of the IBA, me as a president, whom you can trust the brother whom you can trust to. We are ready to provide the support to every single boxer, male or female, doesn't matter, in any difficult situation. Please just approach, don't be ashamed. We are all gathered here today just to communicate with each other. We can share the experience, and this platform will be also expanding. We will be holding it in other continents, in America, in Africa. We'll be providing forums and arranging this kind of events in Asian countries, European, American, in ocean countries in 2025. And in every continent we are planning to arrange more than 5 championship nights where the boxers can participate and have very good prize money. Now, lots of people are saying that money is not the most important thing, because every athlete is representing their country. But unfortunately, without this money, this athlete cannot support his future. And we have to provide financial support not only to international federations, but the boxers and athletes individually. If we don't support them, then there will be no international association. We have to understand that. And of course, it should be, the great job should be done in order to distribute everything that we make as a profit. And this should be all the prize money, and there should be support to the national federations. And this is the most important thing. And the most important thing should be not the politics, but it should be sportsmen, the athletes. Yes, of course, we now facing the problems with the International Olympic Committee. We don't have the problem with the Olympic family, but we have today's management of IOC has the issues with us. We don't have any issues. Everything is okay with us. We're an independent international organization. We don't play politics. We're going our own way. Our main championship is international competitions. So next year, we will announce soon, in May, end of May, June 2025, we'll be hosting a championship, the World Championship, with the $10 million prize money. And of course, for every continent, we will be giving $1 million prize money for every continental championship in 2025. So today we will be signing the IBA Challenger. The company will be hosting the events to set the standards. Like yesterday, if you've seen the fights yesterday, these standards should be followed everywhere. And this is what our association will be working on in order to provide and act for the marketing, in order to support and help continents and associations to host the events on the highest standards and, of course, attract investments. So to avoid any situation when the country is hosting the championship and it left itself, no, it will be supported by the association that will be giving the support to the federation of that country. And, of course, there will be financial support provided. Also, as I said, the most important thing for us, for IBA, is our World Championship. I'll explain why. Because we are developing the boxing. No one else is doing that. The IOC is not developing the sport. The international association are those who are developing the sport, and they should be independent. This is the most important thing. And every international association should be the first place should be placing our own tournaments. When the World Championship is just a selection to the global area, the sponsorship is going to the Olympics. And at this stage, our tournament is not a global tournament, but just a regular tournament. This is not the right thing. For 30 years, IBA is being managing, and this led to the corruption, the unfair judgment. So in Olympics in 15 and 16, there was the corruption and the bribery between judges. Incorrect management, all this led to that the boxing was managed by people who are not in the boxing, who don't know a thing about boxing. Nothing has changed. This is the same team. Nowadays, when the boxing is changed its face, and when the boxing has become independent, and we see how the tournaments are arranged, when we see the attitude to the athletes, this is the way it should be in the International Olympic Committee as well. And we will be fighting for that Olympic Games will also giving the prize money. Why the official has to stay in 5-star hotel and the athletes will be staying in the shelter? This is not the correct way, because in the tournament and the Olympic Games, everyone, all the sponsors are coming and selling the rights for the broadcasting, and we see the spectators just to see the athletes. So therefore, the athletes should be in focus. These are the most important part of any tournament, the athletes and the coaches of national federations. And this is the way IBA is chosen. Not all the people like this approach, but we believe this is the correct way. We are saying the truth. Why I said the champions of the IOC will giving the prize to the Olympic champions as well. This is just because of these athletes that we see so many people watching the Olympic Games themselves. We'll be fighting that the Olympic Games, the IOC will be also giving as a prize money. They have to pay the prize money to the athletes. We'll fight for that. And of course, we'll also reach the level when the IBA will be hosting the event during the IOC. We have the greater plans and our own championship and tournaments, because we are developing the sport, we are developing the boxing, we are in charge for our people and our kids. No matter what other organizations are developed, there should not be a monopoly in sport. And of course, there should not be monopoly in boxing. So we are reforming our chart, because previously when you're amateur you cannot fight with pros, and in some countries when there is represented by only single athlete and he's acting as a pro, he cannot attend the amateur books. Now everything is changed. Any athlete can act as an amateur and then a pro. There is no limitation on that. The only thing is that we're planning to, for every situation, to see case by case. In future, yes, the Olympic Games will be for up to 22 years, the youth, and all adults will be participating in the championships. We have so many examples of that. For example, in soccer, the Olympic Games, they can participate up to 22 years. And for the World Cups, is the most serious cup among the adults. And we can follow the same. There are two types of sports, the most important. There are football and the boxing. But football is 22 players and the boxing is only 2. So that's why I'm saying the boxing is a flagship of our community. The most important thing is that never afraid of saying the truth. When you're saying the truth, we will get the result. And when people are keeping silence, they're just destroying everything. We have to tell the truth. We should not be afraid of that. And therefore, and only then, our sport and our international association will be the best. It is actually the best now. And we did a marvelous job. For 2024, more than $8 million profit we get. And this was distributed to the International Federation, and we'll be increasing this amount year by year. And today we'll be signing the sponsorship documents. You will see that. And of course, everything is done to create the necessary condition for our athletes. We can speak a lot about it, but the most important thing is that we have to do that. Some people can just only through the words, and we will be acting. And we will not be paying attention to the criticism or the critics who will be just sitting on the couch and trying just to say something. We will accept the critics if it is working, if it will help us to improve our work. And then we will need maybe some advice from everyone in terms of the judges, from everyone. We have to make everything clear in the judgment.
Крайне. Все по судейству вопросов нет. Я хотел поблагодарить и команду профессора Макларена, который проводит большую работу.
I'm so happy to announce that Professor McLaren was a big help in terms of the judgment. And I would like to also thank all the people who are working with us, all the judges who are working with IBA, because everybody has changed their opinion towards the judgment. And judgment within our organization is one of the best at the moment. Of course, the past was definitely something that we had to be very wary about, but when we have to study our past, and we should study all the facts that was happening. However, the protests that were there, we will always take care of that, yes. Our task at the moment is to be the guarantor for the sportsmen that we can provide perfect future for them, the ones that are going big. The judges, the IBA office, everybody, all the people who are functioning within the sports, we are just there to provide the victory for our sportsmen. And to finish my statement, I would like to thank everybody, all the international federations, all the boxers, and, of course, our legend, the family of Muhammad Ali. That is really a legend. He was the best. Why was he the best? And he was against politics in sports. He was there for the unity in sports, and that is very important. He is known in the world history as a boxer and as a person. We should be the same. That should be our example for all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Time now to cast our eyes back on the year that we have had and look at some highlights of 2024. But before we do that, could I just ask you all, please, to rise for the IBA anthem.
Oh, your life is a fight in a ring, you can fight your belief by your side. Oh, your life is a fight, oh, your life is a fight in the ring, you can fight your belief by your side. Oh, your life is a fight,
some fantastic highlights there, ladies and gentlemen, and also a really great night last night at the agenda here in Dubai, another IBA Champions Night, some very, very good matchups, a lot of skill on display, but a lot of will as well. They were competitive fights, 50-50 fights, some really, really hard fights. I've seen plenty of that this year. I've really, really enjoyed it all over the world, and I hope to see plenty more of it again next year. So time now for our general report, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome up to the stage Secretary General and CEO of the IBA, Mr. Chris Roberts, OBE.
President Umar, sirs, ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, it's great to be stood up on the stage here in front of all of you. And I think just from what Andy was saying, the event last night was absolutely fantastic, and we continue through the day now with a sequence of events. We're going to have our Congress this afternoon, and we'll have a gala dinner this evening. I think just touching on what the President said, we as an organisation, we span right across the globe. We are agile. We sit in the strategic edge of agile work. We're reactive. We're reactive to many things. So in terms of where we need to be strategically, we're looking forward to next year. And of course, we need to make sure that the messages are right, and we need to make sure that we get out there and do our business daily. I'm just going to give you a quick overview on what we've done this year and touch on a few things which I think what Umar said there before. You'll see some of these statistics in this slide pack. And just give you a bit of an idea of the size and scale in which IBA operate. Next slide, please. Okay, as I mentioned, the IBA is dedicated to finding and seeking new opportunities. The mission has changed. It changes because we understand the landscape, and we're trying to reach out and do our business and to make sure that we touch all our national federations through the continents. And of course, the vision of IBA through the President is clear. And okay, looking for the commercial opportunities to ensure that IBA moves forward, not just next year, but for the next 10 years. It's important. It's important to support our people. It's important to support our athletes of the future. And this point here, it's a nice slide. IBA is the home of boxing. We are a hybrid organisation. We manage our amateur boxing clubs from grassroots level, out in the national federations, through to international level boxing, through the national federations, and into the continental space. We have our Champions Night that you saw last night, and this is cognizant of the fact that we assist and help our top-end athletes to get to this programme, to earn prize money. And I think it was just a great spectacle, and that is the standard. World Boxing League, as you see in the top right-hand corner there, this is something that we're developing. It's an equivalent package to the World Series of Boxing. This was a fantastic project. For those that were involved, I was involved in 2012 to 2016. In fact, I was working with Andy on some of the stuff in the UK. Brilliant project. And we're bringing this back. We're about 4 or 5 months away. And again, back to the President's point, we need people to come in to assist. We need people that have got the expertise, that want to be involved in this project work. The World Series, the World Boxing League will be another step alongside. Why is this important? Because we want to bring the national federations in as a team. Okay, not individual, as a team. And of course, as the President already alluded, it doesn't just happen. This is our team moving from Lausanne to Moscow, and the office that we've got and we will have moving forward into 2025 in Dubai. This is the organisation. We look at every single department, every single area of operations for us. Operations, plans, development, sport. We do this, and it's done by our people in each of our offices to make sure that the output is right. And what you see here in Dubai this weekend, the weigh-in, the media weigh-in, and the stuff you saw in Dubai earlier this week, fantastic, great, really great setup. And we're reaching out into lots of different areas to make IBA stand out from any other organisation. Did you see this yesterday evening? Yeah, we saw this one. This is nice. I like this. Umar, we're doing this one. This is going to happen, yeah? Okay, so we don't forget where we come from. We never forget where we come from, because grassroots is important. And as the President said, the Elite World Boxing Championships is our bread and butter. That's the key area where we focus. The last World Championships that you saw, male event in Tashkent, absolutely superb event, delivered on point. And we had our world champions come out of there, and you see those world champions. In fact, you'll see a slide on that shortly, but you see those world champions in our Champions Nights. And again, you'll see them competing in these events, not only amateur, professional. You see, we talk about hybrid. We talk about the opportunities that IBA brings from amateur through to professional. And then, oh, by the way, you can come back to amateur events here, World Championships. No other organisation offers that opportunity. We are unique in our delivery. Continental Championships we support, and you'll see some stats shortly on the finances that we've supported some of these events. IBA Pro Series, part of that the Champions Night, World Boxing League, and then the contender piece that we'll do for the opportunities of second-string boxers to get into Champions Night. So this is another opportunity that we're going to bring through 2025. World champions sat in here amongst our core people, and we'll see them come on the stage later, receiving some nice little certificates for their efforts, not only in the World Championships, but in the Olympic Games. High-end athletes, top-class athletes, superb. And you can touch them, they're real. We saw them last night, and they sit amongst us here. That's how close we operate to these athletes. World Championships, again, hosting opportunities. We've got the Female World Championships taking place next year with Mr. Nenad in Serbia. He's already hosted the Male World Championships previously, so bags of experience there. And you'll see this next year. Opportunities for our Male World Championships. So cut step forward if you're interested. Prize money doubled, as the President said. Again, creating conditions for success for our athletes. Champions Night, as you saw, the delivery last night was superb. 8 quality bouts, world champions crowned, prize money, belts, superstars pushing out the belts to our athletes. Great. And this was, we delivered this first project, IBA Kunlun series. This was an interesting one. We don't just stick to boxing. We had kickboxing and boxing together. We had, just as an example, 14,000 people in the stadium. 14,000 people in the stadium watching our events. And this is going to be rolled out next year in China. So we're reaching out with different projects, supporting different areas of work. This was brilliant. This was a spectacle. We were on the stage. I was on the stage with the President doing the ceremonial weigh-in. We walked out, and it was full. This was 2 days before. We hadn't even started the event. And this is the kind of thing that IBA are doing, the reach that we have. World Series, as I mentioned before, the delivery of this product in the form of World Boxing League. This is another look forward to. 4 World Championships next year, male, female, and we're seeking opportunities, junior and schools. So we talk about the pull-through effect from this high to this high, okay? The pull-through effect for our athletes. 20 Champions Nights already in place for next year. A further 5, we could do a few more. So I know I've had discussions with some of the members here, the delegates. If you're interested, let's have a discussion. But Champions Night speaks for itself. And towards the sort of Q2, Q3, we'll be pushing in with this product. Okay, so I look forward to an announcement early next year. We, as the President said, reach out and support through various initiatives in terms of finances, and this will just give you an idea of where we've gone supporting 21 national federations, and you can see the amount of financial support that we've put in to these events. This is a nice slide. And of course, the programme at the bottom there, you can see overall between 2021 and 2024, just particularly through FSP, financial support, okay, with equipment and financial just going in. And we rolled out equipment everywhere this year. Everywhere. ISO containers going everywhere. We send them out from China, Pakistan, everywhere. They go out to all different parts of the globe. FSP moving through 2024, significant. Nice story.
Women's one, and
Yeah.
prize money.
Yeah.
And also men's and prize money, I think silver for posting, and also mentioned that we award up to quarterfinalists.
Okay. Yeah, got it. So, President's excited about World Championships next year. So, he thanks Mr. Nenad for the support, and of course, we'll be seeing a large prize money gift at the Women's World Championships. Double the prize money. What was the prize money, Roma? What's the prize money? Yeah, large? Huh? 10 million. 10 million. Okay. Nice. Look in here, just to give you a snapshot. EUBC 2024 Elite Championships. We put boxing equipment there. But EUBC also put their own prize money into this. 500,000. EUBC are doing a lot of work to commercially enterprise their organisation to support IBA. So again, prize money in. It just gives you a huge example of the size and scale in which we operate. And gloves to go out to support the event. Your average package of about 15,000 USDs. Again, it's needed. It's needed to support these events. Montenegro was a great success. We saw that championship event, Youth World Championships in Montenegro. Thanks to Mr. Klemenko and his team. Superb. The youth boxers thoroughly enjoyed it, and we provided accommodation. Free. People didn't pay for the accommodation. We paid for it, and we paid for meals, and we paid for flights, and we brought people in, and we had a grand spectacle. And a prize purse of 500,000. And you'll see on the stage shortly the Olympic champions will be coming up. You're aware of the announcement that the President pushed out earlier in the year to support the Olympians. They're here amongst us. You'll see them on the stage later. And they were sat at ringside last night. So, again, this is a key area for us. I'm going to go a bit more into this detail during the Congress. But educational courses. You can just see what we do there. Referees and judges, coaches, ITOs, cut techs. Back to the President's point. We roll all of these courses out daily. If you want a course in your national federation, come directly. We offer that for you. And this is where we go, CPD, general development. We've got sports management courses that we've paid for people to come in and do sports management courses. Here we're looking at Champions Night, opportunities for the boxers. This is where we've been across the globe. We're reaching out everywhere. Academy, Development Academy, Assisi, courses, course management in this place. Again, if you're interested, let us know. We roll these courses in centrally. Marketing opportunities, as the President's already mentioned, through IB Challenger. Of course, looking at the reach that we have, the dynamics that we show, here it's clear. Everybody wants to be part of IBA. Our reach is huge. Broadcasting and distribution. You saw the size and scale of it yesterday. You'll have seen it distributed across the world. We're seeking other opportunities. Anyone out there that has contacts, let us know. We're interested. And you can just see here, the market is interesting. Why? Because the average age was around 40. Boxing. In the days gone by, your average viewer was around 40. We brought that down now to around about 21, 22 years of age. Okay? The reach out, we can pick out the markets. Interesting reach for IBA. We measure the statistics social media-wise. Our team constantly looking out where the reach is. Countries that we hit, where we seek and find our people to support our events in this market, in this space, and of course, to seek opportunities commercially. We spoke about the average age and our viewers now. We're bringing it down. It's key. And core markets, interesting, all right? We're moving over to the West now. We're going to dominate the globe. We're going to dominate the areas. Do you think? Of course. Yeah, of course we are. So we're going to hit our key markets. We need to roll out 2025. You'll see this. We'll show this slide again next year. It'll be all red. Or we might change the colour to another one. But anyway, this is where we're at. We're not going to do any questions now. We can do them at the end because we've got some guest speakers on. But what I'd like to do, again, is just to give another round of applause to Umar. This isn't possible without him. It isn't possible without him and his work. And personally, Andy, over to you. Thanks, everybody. We're going to do some of these points on in the Congress to discuss a little bit further in detail, but thanks very much for your time. Any questions you have about anything in IBA, grab me later when you can. We can discuss. Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much, Chris. Really interesting stuff and so much to look forward to next year. As all boxing fans, I think, will be aware, there has long been a rich and very fruitful collaboration between the sport and cinema, film, the silver screen. It's a sport that lends itself to storytelling, I think, in a way that probably no other sport really does. And I think it's really because of the universal themes that resonate with so many people: the struggle, triumph over adversity, the battle for the underdog, to name just a few. And it's an absolute pleasure today to have here with us somebody who can speak on this a lot more eloquently than I can. He is a Hollywood actor and a huge boxing fan. Please welcome Saeed Tagmaoui.
You know, in life, we all face ourselves. The biggest fight, it's life. So boxing will be a little resume of that every day. Discipline, respect, fear, courage, all these things that help you to become a man, you find them in the boxing gym.
Bonjour, salam.
Mr. Omar, President, thank you. So I'm here as a boxing fan, obviously. I've been in boxing since I'm a kid, and I have many friends in boxing, and I've seen so many things happen in boxing, especially with the amateur back in the days, and we all know how this sport is tough. So in 2022, I met the team, the IBA team with Mr. Omar and all the team, and they invited me to be a jury member at the World Amateur Championship in Belgrade for the 22 Amateur Championship. So I stayed there 1 week, and I could have witnessed what they have done with the boxers and when it comes to amateur boxing. We all know that all amateur program, it's so important in boxing. All the biggest champion come from amateur program. So when I realized what I was doing, I went there for 1 week, and I witnessed what they were really doing with the amateur, with the stars of the sport, which is the fighters, that we a lot of time forget. I was so happy and proud to be part of the IBA family boxing. And I told them, anything I can do, I will. So first of all, they started to respect the fighters, which is the main star of this sport, by paying them decent money. We all know people fight for many different reasons. Sometimes they fight for pride, for legacy, but they also fight for money. They need, people coming from really tough background. It's like the people champ sports. And seeing them sometimes disrespected like that, when they started to give them and pay them some serious prize money, $100,000 for the winner, when people come from Africa, from Cuba, all the everyday work is one of the toughest sports in the world. I was like, okay, these people are for real. They're going back to the bottom of the bottom, and they're going to go from the roots. So I decided to bring my help, and I said, anything I can do, I will. I'm so happy and proud to be here with so many amazing guests. We have the Ali family. We have superstars like Terence Crawford. I'm like a kid in a candy store because I see all these champions. They're all here. So, yeah, no, for real. This is sincere. Listen, I didn't prepare anything. I talk with my heart because I'm a real boxing fan, and I love boxers. I love the journey, and it's amazing to give them back what they deserve. So these people need to be helped, and anything that we can do, we will do. So I'm proud to be here with you guys, voila, that's it, basically. We're going to post, we're going to promote, we're going to help them to achieve what they have to do. And again, I'm very, very proud to be part of this family. And please, let's all help this thing, because at the end of the day, who's going to win? Boxing and the boxing fans. And that has no price. Coming from the bottom, now we're here. Okay, thank you very much. I'm proud. And if anybody has a question who wants to ask us something, we're here for you guys. Thank you. Mr. Omar, again, thank you for your invitation. And thank you for everything you do. Because at the end of the day, it takes a man, it takes a person to do that. No, honestly, because there is nothing else than that. Like I said, some people fight for legacy, but they can ruin their legacy at the end because they don't get paid. So money is very, very essential. And also give it back to the real athletes. And that I will always support, Mr. Omar. So it's a blessing to know you. And again, we're here for you, anything, anytime. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Saeed. Great to hear from you. Great to have you along at so many IBA events. And you touched on it there, actually, what our next speaker is going to talk about. Boxing plays such a massive role, such an important role socially. You think about what it can do for people, what it can do for communities. It's absolutely key and has been for a long time. And I'd now like to invite up somebody to speak about a really successful social project the IBA has undertaken that took place in Africa with the help of the IBA's financial support programme. Please welcome the President of Uganda Boxing Federation, Moses Muhangi.
Thank you so much, President Umar Kremlev and Chris Roberts, first of all, for giving us this opportunity to be able to come together, share our experiences, and learn from each other. Well, Moses Mohanji is president of Uganda Boxing Federation, some small country somewhere in Africa, and very proud to be a member of IBA, and hoping that we will stay together as one family. So, coming from an African country where we have very little support from the government in terms of boxing support, where we don't have money coming into our federations, so we had a challenge as Uganda, and we were saying, how do we get out of this situation? So what happened was we need to sit down, think of how do we make boxing become a commercial product. How does boxing support those involved into it? Most times we talk about boxers, but they're also coaches, they're administrators, even ourselves as administrators, we need to be able to live and earn a living out of boxing. So we had that big question, and we were saying, how do we address it? So next slide, please. Hear myself? Okay. So we had to come up with an idea, and because of that idea, we were able to move from basically nothing as Uganda Boxing Federation to these sponsors or partners that we're working with. As you can see, you have Top Boy Promotions that has invested over $300,000 in our experience, as I will share going forward. You've seen Sting Energy Drink is a drink from Pepsi Cola that has given us that amount, and so is National TV that has been able to inject about $300,000 as well. And then Street Finance is a local bank that has been able to give us about $150,000. Sorry. No. So, the idea that we came about with as a federation, myself and my team, was how do we commercialize boxing? How do we make boxing make a living, as I articulated? Ideally, you see this on the left-hand side, an empty stadium. That's how boxing has always been in my country, and in many other countries, I guess so, where you have a competition, no one is attending the games, no gate collections, the boxers don't know the direction, the coaches don't know where to go, the officials. So we had the plan, how do we move from an empty stadium to a stadium that has so many people like that? So that was the challenge we had, and we were asking ourselves, how do we make this happen? So in 2022, we decided to begin our journey. And we introduced a product called Uganda Boxing Champions League. And this league was supposed to fix a gap, because in many national federations, we start from novices as boxers, we do intermediates, we do national opens in some countries maybe, and then from there we get the national team. You see the slide, those circles in yellow and blue. So that's the model we had. So we said, let's add in something. The black circles that you see, where we introduced Champions League now. And now this league is supposed to be, or how we're executing it, is a competition in weight classes. So what we do is that, say, maybe 75 kilograms, we pick the top 4 boxers. Now they do what you call round robin in boxing against each other. So if you have 13 weights for men at the elite level, and then you have 12 weights for women, 4 boxers, gives you about 104 boxers. So we do the same for the youth, we do the same for the juniors. So that means you have about close to 360 boxers in this mode of competition. Now, what makes it interesting is that they fight every 14 days. And every 14 days on a match day, you have about 20 bouts, and that gives you a stretch of about 8 months. Now, that is very interesting in a way that you have content for the television for the 8 months you're running. The referee and judges are very active, because every Saturday they have to come and officiate. The boxers are also very active, because every time they fight against each other, you get 3 points, the loser gets no point. And how we structured it is that we make it semi-professional, whereby they do boxing for about 5 rounds, and we mix a bit of professional rules and amateur rules, so that we also create a transition for how our boxers can get prepared to enter into the professional ranks. So by doing this, we had the idea, we had the product. So now the issue was, how are we going to execute it? who's going to work with you. And that's how we are able to move to, first of all, Uganda Boxing Federation has the idea, it has the judges, it has the boxers, but it didn't have the resources. So we said, okay, we need to go and look for a company. That's how we got Top Boy Promotions. And we convinced them that, look, we have this product, we have this idea, we have the numbers, but we don't have the resources. So Top Boy said, okay, I'll give you the money. We will do the event organization. So we make a partnership with Top Boy. Now they promise to fund our activities. But we realized if Top Boy gives us the money, where is it going to get the money back? Where are the returns? What's their benefit? That's when we said, okay, we need to get a bigger audience. Because in this venue, even if you have 1,000 people, the gate collections they are going to pay can't sustain boxing. So we said we needed to have a TV, because the TV gives us a national reach. That's how we got in touch with the national TV station, and we told them, we have content, give us 2 hours every Saturday. So the TV is like, but why should I give you? No one likes boxing. We said, don't worry, let's have a plan for 1 year, for 2 years. We are going to have fan bases. So the TV came on board. From the TV, now we said, okay, we have the promoter, Top Boy Promotions, event organizer, we have the TV, but where will the money come from? We need to get sponsors. How will you get the sponsors? So we said, Black Excellence is a marketing company. We went to them. We said, Black Excellence, we have a product, we have the TV, we want you to go and get for us sponsors. So Black Excellence is our marketing firm. We contracted them as well. Then the TV, because it's a big organization, they also have their internal marketing department, where you see Next Media. So we say now we have 2 marketing teams to go out there and look for sponsors. Now, when the 2 work together, that's how you get the sponsors, and that's how you get the money that I showed you earlier, how it comes about. So, because of this arrangement, we've been able to move a journey since 2022. Now we're in 2024. This is our 3rd season, and we've made tremendous success. Because, for example, if you look at the first slide here, our TV show, our boxing program that ran on the 9th of November, we were able to have 780,000 people all over the country watching boxing on TV. And that research is done by EPOSIS. EPOSIS is an international media company that runs media research. So the boxing, same way we were in the arena yesterday, we were watching maybe 1,000 people in the arena, but also on TV. That is very important because that gives value to the sponsors who will give you the money. Now, on the other extreme slide, when we made a deal with the TV, Mr. Chris, we told the TV, how are we going to grow boxing when people don't know about boxing? People just see us in the ring, we are fighting, but they don't understand, is this an uppercut? Is this a jab? You see, in football, everybody knows this is a penalty kick. Everybody knows this is a foul. But in boxing, only us know about these things. So we said, okay, UTV, on top of you giving us time to broadcast our games, you must give us time to explain to the fans what boxing is all about. Which boxer, like yesterday, I saw a knockout in the Champions Night, but people need to know, was it in the first round? What kind of knockout was it? Was it a right hand? Was it so that way, if you explain, if you analyze the competition, then the audience is picking interest. They start falling in love with the sport. They are able to understand what's happening. And that's how we got Jab Jab TV show. Now, this is what happens. The Saturday that we have boxing, then the next weekend, we don't have boxing. So when we don't have boxing, we have Jab Jab TV show to explain the previous events, make predictions for the next event, so that we continuously engage our fan bases. So Jab Jab show, the last report is being watched by 260,000 people in the country. Before it was 0. There was no TV show. There was no communication about boxing. Now we have that kind of number. The slide on the downside is the social media reach. I saw, Chris, you put IBA social media reach. So even us in Uganda, we have now gone to 4.1 million people. From 0 now to 4.1 million people. It's a great success for us as a national federation. On top of the attention we have created, we have been able to see a lot of participation of decision makers in the country, minister, The guy in the middle is the Minister of Sports. They've come to watch boxing. We have had musicians. We have had comedians. We have had fashionistas, federation presidents. We have had IOC members. The guy in red, IOC member William Blick. They don't like boxing, same way Umar said, but then they were forced of the pressure. They said, how can I be in Uganda? There's a big event going on, and I can't go to watch. So that means if we organize our house, do a very great job, IOC will have to kneel down for IBA because we develop boxing. They don't develop boxing. So the IOC president had to come, IOC member, many times. So that's been happening. Great musicians, those who come from Africa, they know people like Jose Chameleon, football president, the other guy putting on a mask in the country, they all have been able to get involved because they don't want to miss the vibe. We've made boxers who become later champions. Mr. Umar Kremlev, when you came to Uganda, remember that lady, the Miss Africa, the lady here. So everybody has been able to come and participate, yeah. So even when we have had all these developments, we have also had challenges, ladies and gentlemen. One of our biggest challenges, of course, has been finance. Remember, we are running a bi-weekly event. Every 14 days, we have boxing going on. So that, in a way, hurts us financially, but we continuously keep on engaging with sponsors, introducing boxing to them so that we can see how it goes. Of course, equipment, venues for competitions. Our numbers have gone high, but we don't have the venues. These are some of the challenges. Crowd management. Right now, we are trying to deal with how do we manage crowds and all that. So, beneficiaries out of this model, event partners, the benefit, the sponsors get to benefit, the actors, but most importantly, the boxers. You see, our boxers now are doing endorsements for big brands. That's our boxer advertising for Sting. They are getting medals. Our referee and judges are getting certifications courtesy of Chris Roberts and IBA. So you can see there's an ecosystem being created. The future for us now, of course, we want to involve ourselves so much in the betting, boxing now, because we have the numbers, but now how can we get more money? We have red corner, blue corner. Can they start betting the funds so we can get money from them? When you look at preparing our boxers to get into professional ranks, because now that's the way to go. That's how boxers can only benefit. So this is our future, and we hope we're going to get into pay-per-view now, because now many people want to watch our product all over the world. We have boxers in the USA. Terence was in my country a few weeks ago, and we have so many Ugandan boxers in the USA, and all over the place. They would want to follow what's happening. So this is where we are, and these are some of the things we hope we would want to share with you guys, share our experiences, and if you find it viable, because we believe that strong national federations make a strong IBA. If the national federations are not that strong, IBA can't be that strong. So it is our duty not to leave all the work to Umar Kremlev or Chris Roberts, to also do something wherever we are as a country. If we do this in all the countries in the world, then boxing will be so strong and no one can challenge us. So I think if some of you like this model, I know Guinea Conakry already wants to do this kind of model in their country. If you guys want to do the same, I'm available through IBA. We can share experiences, and IBA can also support us maybe financially, and we execute these kind of programs because this is the only way to solve sustainable products. Because for as long as countries are forever depending on IBA, Mr. Chris, we can never move forward. It will struggle. So, Mr. Kremlev, onus is on you. If you can consider supporting us in this direction, be more sustainable. That's when you can grow boxing, and for a long period of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my presentation. I'm very free to answer any question, if any, and we get to continue sharing experiences so that we learn from each other. Then we are not the best. It's a simple idea we have, but it's making some sense to us. But we can always learn from each other. And I think this is the best way so far. Thank you very much. And God keep you. See you later at the Congress.
Thanks very much, Moses. Really interesting to see the work that you're doing. Another huge area of growth, of development across the sport in recent years has been in women's boxing. The rise of women's boxing have been a long time coming, but it's something that the IBA has been at the forefront of for decades, really. Others have, over time, followed suit, but that journey towards parity is still yet to be completely achieved, but an awful lot has been done. A lot has been achieved and will continue to be done. You can never rest on your laurels. You can never get complacent. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage IBA World Championship bronze medalist and Board of Directors member, Christy Harris.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm a little bit shorter, here we go. I don't have a pretty presentation for you all, but I'm just going to give you just a bit of a short look at my career so far, how it started. I ended up retiring a couple of years now. My last fight was at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and I'm now a board of director on the IBA. So, bit of a story how I started. I was about 13 and my dad wanted to take me down to the local boxing gym. You know, I think he wants his daughter to have a little bit of self-defense. And he could see I had plenty of energy I needed to let out. So this is just going into a bit of the challenges that females have coming into a male-dominated sport. And look, honestly, it is overall, it's a man's world and boxing is a super male-dominated sport. But there is support there and it's growing and growing. So I went to this gym with my dad and I was the only girl there. 13 years old, I was quite timid. There's no way I'd be standing up here back then. I hated it. I actually hated my first boxing session. I absolutely hated it. And I said to Dad, nah, I'm not coming back. I'm the only girl there, young girl there, all these guys around. This place stinks. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have this boxing bag in front of me for 3 minutes and I have no idea what to do. So Dad wasn't happy at that, so he turns around and says to 13-year-old me, he goes, all right, I'll make you a bet. I'll make you a deal. So he goes, I'll give you $50 if you come to the gym for 3 weeks in a row. All right? So 13-year-old me was like, $50, you beauty. All right, I'll do that, Dad, no worries. So I went to the gym, went to the boxing gym, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 weeks in a row. And can you maybe guess what happened after those 3 weeks? How I felt to now. Yeah, I felt more confidence. I first learned how to throw my first decent combo, and I was like, damn, that felt good. That felt really good. Okay, and then all of a sudden, this timid 13-year-old girl got a little bit of confidence behind her. Yeah, got a bit of confidence, started feeling better, and then I was the most successful boxer to ever come out of that gym. The next challenge was, though, there was not many females around back then. Okay, there was not many sparring partners for me, so I had to go up to Melbourne, where there is a bit more happening in boxing there. So I'm from Geelong, which is 1 hour from Melbourne in Australia. So I rock up to this gym. He's one of the best coaches in the country, and I was like, Cal, can I come train? Can I come join your gym? You know, in Geelong, there's not a single girl down there boxing. And he was like, sorry, mate, I only train boys. And I was like, nah, come on, surely not. Are you for real? You know, well, he's ex-army, he's a bit older, everything like that. And he goes, all right. I pestered him long enough, and then he goes, if you want to train here, you got to train like one of the boys. I said, no problem, sign me up, let's go. Okay, since then, so I was the first female to box out of that gym in Collingwood. Now, to this day, 60% of them in that gym are females, now competing at world level. So from there, my career took off actually pretty quickly. I only had 9 fights under my belt when I qualified for my first World Championships. So I had 9 fights. My first fight was against Bulgaria. If I had have won that, I would have been fighting Nicola Adams, who probably had about 200 at that stage, so definitely nervous there. And I ended up, fast forward to 2018, I boxed and won a bronze medal in India at the Women's World Championships. So got that medal, and then, but the thing was, this is before our lovely president was in, okay? So no prize money, no prize money. I had, you know, for a better word of it, slaved away to get myself there and get that medal. But my coach then had to argue, fight with the federation to get me the leftover funding, which was $2,000, okay? And I had already, this was my 4th World Championships. All right, but wouldn't change it for anything, and I had a great time all the way, but there has been several challenges coming along that. And I think, you know, this is something that it would be good to implement into the young female athletes because there is a lot of adversity with it. You get a lot of comments. You get a lot of comments that may sound like it's a compliment, but it's not. Like if any of the other female boxers out here, you might have heard the old, oh, why would you want to box? Why would you want to ruin that pretty face? Okay, thanks. I'm really glad this 7-year-old guy thinks I'm pretty, but would you ever say that to a man? You know, that this is what it was like. There was no females around. There was no support around it. Women's boxing was a freak show. No one even really heard of it. Okay? But after I won the bronze medal in 2018, I continued on for another 4 years. Umar had become president at the time. Unfortunately, I've done myself over here, but retired after Umar had come in, so didn't get my hands on that prize money. But I'm lucky in this sense because now, being an athlete and being selected to be on the board of directors, being the only athlete ever to be selected to be on there, and I think it's just such a great opportunity. I love working with all the team. And the thing with the prize money as well is, you don't just think, okay, this person could walk away with $50,000, $100,000, ka-ching, let's go shopping, let's do something. It's not that, it's life. Because from my experience, you go through boxing not getting paid, you can hardly keep up a day job. I would go, because we're in Australia, it's a great country, we're lucky, but it's so freaking far away from everyone. So we always had to travel overseas. So I was hardly ever at home. So who was going to employ me? No one. We're like, yeah, I got the job, I've got to go in 2 weeks, sorry, you know, type thing. So for me, being able to go on the board is me continuing on in my career in boxing and being able to contribute in that way. Now with the prize money, these people can actually have life after boxing. Because when you finish, yeah, if there's none of that, you finish, you're at the top. You've just graduated, yeah, you just graduated in uni. Then you retire, you're back in grade prep. You've got to restart your whole life again. You don't have money behind you, no superannuation, no work experience because you dedicated your life to boxing. Yeah? But now you have this prize money behind you. It is so much better because you can go into life and you don't feel like you're well left behind. Yeah, so think about that in terms of the money. It's giving athletes a life also after sport. Because retiring is not easy. I'll admit it right now, it's not easy. You finish up and you go, well, what do I do now? All I've ever done is box. All I've ever done is train. I've only been surrounded by these people, you know, all my friends that live interstate that are on the team. Yeah, so after that, it is really challenging, I can tell you that, and that's why I'm so thankful again to be on the board, to be able to contribute back. But by having this prize money given, it gives you a life and a stepping stone, okay, straight after boxing. Not only that, I think we have the prize money that is given to female boxers, whereas in a lot of other sports, you might not know, AFL in Australia, it's a football, you know, sometimes women's sports aren't paid at all. Okay, they have to get out there, prove themselves more and more and more. Whereas IBA have supplied that prize money straight off the bat. Yeah, the boys might get more views, okay, there might be a bit more following there, but IBA has given that money straight up to start giving them a chance to move forward and start building their own brand. Not only that, they have created opportunities for women as well. Okay, we're showcasing the athletes, giving opportunities for funding for university as well, which is also super important. Yeah, again, giving something for life after sport, because it's something that's always forgotten about, and it's something that, thanks to UMA and IBA, that is supported and gives athletes a chance. A lot of athletes, I can't remember the percentage, but a big percent of athletes actually suffer with depression once they retire, because who you are, like, as a person, is tied, the sport is tied to your identity. You know, because I just don't get it. It's, hi, this is Christy. Hey, this is Christy the boxer. Or, hey, this is Christy, she's a boxer. Every time. Yeah, so it's very tied to your identity. So it's providing life after sport as well, yeah? And we have with the IBA board, we have our diversity committee, our chairwoman, my colleague Pearl Dalimi, who is always listening to what females actually need. Okay, listening to what they actually need and implementing that as well. Okay, so that gives you a little picture of what boxing was like for me when I first started. I had my first fight in 2011. You know, I remember giving the uniform, and it was a boys' one. Okay, so it looked like a tent on me. Okay, but that was like, and now it's completely changed. Everything's up to date. It's growing. The world is growing with women. We're becoming more diverse everywhere around the world, but especially here in boxing, especially IBA. Thank you, Uma, for everything. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Christy. That was really, really fascinating to hear. Honestly, it absolutely was. Now, something that's interested me over the last couple of months has been the appearance on BoxRec of a category entitled IBA Pro. Now, BoxRec.com is the statistical Bible of boxing. It gives you the history of the sport in stat form. You can check records, you can check all sorts of things. It's an invaluable tool. If you do my job, then how people did it before BoxRec, I'm not entirely sure. But it's been a really good development to see that relationship start between the IBA and BoxRec. And today we have the founder and president of BoxRec, Dr. Marina Shepherd, with us, but also, who's going to join us first to speak a bit more about this, international boxing promoter, manager and matchmaker. Please welcome to the stage, Al Siesta.
Good morning, family. Good morning, the House of Boxing. I am an international manager, matchmaker, and promoter, but first of all, I'm a huge boxing fan. Over the years in my career, I worked with many reputable organizations, but let me tell you from the bottom of my heart, this is the very, very special one. The IBA is incredible. During press conference on Thursday, I was watching the speeches from the aficionados, and I saw the interviews of our beloved president, and it was incredible. The man is challenging stereotypes, breaking barriers, and he is a very, very brave man. This organization thrives for something very, very special. The passion, the vision, the grit, determination to improve the sport of boxing is impeccable. I'm so honored to be a member of this huge family, and I'll do my best to move with this family forward to the very, very good future. And on this note, mentioning the great collaboration with the best in the world statistical database organization, the BoxRec. Please give a warm welcome to the director of BoxRec, Dr. Marina Shepherd.
Thank you very much.
So I like to speak through statistics. It's very hard to follow all these very accomplished speakers. So I am not going to be like that, but we like to present ourselves through the data that we bring. So there we go. I do believe that most of you know who we are, but just a couple of slides of what we do and who we are. So we have an ongoing legacy. We have been a respected boxing record keeper for over 20 years. In fact, next May it's our 25th anniversary. And we have seen a lot on the internet. We're older than Google. We have an unrivaled data collection. We have over 3 million fights now in our system, with thousands entered every single week by a very large team of editors. So we have people everywhere in the world that help us give you the information you need to make the decisions you need to make on a daily basis. We are a very respected partner in boxing, and at the moment we work with 459 different commissions around the world, and we are their official record keeper. But by the end of tonight, I hope there's at least 20 more. At the end of this, I will give you my email. I do want you to talk to me, and I'll make it easy. I speak English, French, Spanish, and German. So next on the list is going to be Russian. We really do believe in innovation. We are trying our best to continue to develop within the industry, and we're always looking to improve, which again is why I want to talk to you and hear your ideas or your thoughts. And I'm very used to criticism, so don't be afraid to come up and tell me what you're thinking. So what is it that we do on a daily basis? So we are dedicated to the history of combat sports. Our system is constantly being updated, and with constantly I mean every 20 seconds, and maintained by hundreds of editors around the world. The results and the suspensions are entered quickly, and we're very easily able to make revisions because everything is live there on the internet. We facilitate. What's at the core of what we do is the people, and we care about everyone. I mean, it's very nice to see you and see other celebrities here, but we care about everyone, every single boxer. We are their window to the world. The BoxRec database allows commissioners to easily communicate with one another when issues and questions arise, for example, around the suspensions. The decisions can, again, be made in real time because we're real time on the internet. But we also train people. So we have been around, as I said, for quite a long time. We have decades of experience, and we provide expert guidance to the commissions worldwide. We help ensure the highest standards of fairness and integrity in the sport by offering onboarding support and best practice guidelines. We encourage commissions to hold themselves and promoters accountable for the fairness in the sport. But we don't just work with commissions. We are a platform for the community. We have over 24 million users on the platform in 2024 alone, and all the industry users, most of them have a login, so 23,694 users are registered members of the boxing community. So we're talking fighters, promoters, matchmakers, officials. A few months ago, we added the trainers and coaches as well. That was something that has been asked of us for a very long time. Like I said, we're updated constantly. About every 20 seconds, there's an edit, which means 4,333 edits a day. And we grow, and we have been growing quite rapidly. We're continuously investing in our staff and in our infrastructure to make sure that we're online all the time. But I'm here today, and I'm very, very happy to be here today, because we don't just do professional boxing, we're very invested in other sports. And we've recently started cooperating with the International Boxing Association. We are committed to see a person. Like I said, we care about everyone, we care about every athlete, and we care about their life. We want to be showing their life as an athlete throughout their career and beyond boxing. And you do this by building relationships and by getting the information directly from the source. Obviously, the picture here, that was before the fight yesterday. So cooperations have allowed us to improve the tracking of fighters who fight in multiple combat sports, allowing for an increased visibility and safety, and further empowering key decision makers such as yourselves when it comes time to approve the bouts. So what have we done with the IBA? We have added a section that is IBA Pro bouts in our database for the public to see. And so far, we have tracked 162 bouts classified as IBA Pro, taking place in 16 different countries and featuring 253 total boxers. We have been, for a long time now, maybe 6 or 7 years, we've started tracking amateur boxing, and we are committed to amateur boxing. We've also got our own ratings that work for amateur boxing, even though we know we have a lot of missing fights, which is again why I want to talk to each and every one of you. So we have made an initiative to increase record keeping in amateur boxing and asking our editors to put an increased emphasis on the sport to help contribute to growth. And we've been striking agreements with the amateur federations. Now, this is one of you shows the way it looks on the public view. And just in the last 2 years, we've entered over 100,000 bouts, and we continue to enter thousands of bouts every year. That, of course, includes the IBA World Championship tournaments. So for those of you who are the federations, this is just a quick slide to say that we are happy to enter data. We're happy to also let you enter data. We need a minimum of information, which is date location of the event, names and the dates of birth of the combatants, the weights, and the results. Those of you who may be interested in participating in that, we have an extra email that's called amateurboxrec.com, and we can provide you with templates of how to report. So, combat sports beyond boxing. Like I said, we have been doing professional boxing for 25 years and have been growing in other sports very quickly over the last few years. And we are the official record keeper for boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and bare knuckle boxing, not just in the US, but all over the world. And this slide just shows the growth in the percentage in different sports. So, if you haven't used BoxRec yet and you're not sure how, come and talk to me. So this is just to say we do have a handbook. Like I said, we train a lot of people, some people with the terminology and with how to use our system best to protect the boxers, which is, again, what is at the core of what we do and how we do it. So thank you very much for your time. I do mean it when I say we're interested in your views, and that's why there was an email up there saying help@boxrec.com. Do get in contact with us. Thank you so much.
Marina, thanks very much, and from all boxing fans, from boxing journalists in particular, a heartfelt thank you. I've no idea how much time I spend on BoxRec over the course of any given week, but it's a lot, I can tell you, and my job would be a lot more difficult without it. A word you hear mentioned often by boxers is legacy, probably more by boxers than athletes in other sports. And it's a big word because it doesn't just speak to the titles that you win or the records that you break. It's about more than that. It's about who you are, about what you stand for, about how you tried to leave the sport, to leave the world a better place than when you found it. In boxing, we are blessed because we have someone whose legacy, whose impact on the world, although it could be rivaled at some point, I genuinely don't think it will ever be surpassed. We have someone who has left that indelible mark, whose name genuinely will echo through eternity. That man, of course, is Muhammad Ali. And it's an absolute joy to have members of the Ali family here today. His daughter, author, speaker, and actress Rashida, and his grandson, now a professional fighter and humanitarian, Nico. If we could invite up to the stage, first to speak to us, please, Rashida.
Thank you. Omar. First, I would like to thank all you guys for coming here today. Thanks for spending your morning with us. Thank you. I would like to thank my brother, Saeed. He introduced us to this incredible organization in Umar. So thank you, brother, for making that introduction and allowing our families to merge. I think it's a perfect fit. Thank you. I'd like to also thank Svetlana and, of course, the man himself, Umar. You're amazing, and you're a testament to what my dad stood for. What you do for boxing and their families is unbelievable. So you're carrying my dad's legacy. So thank you. The gratitude I have for Umar Kreblev is unbelievable. It's the IBA and your unwavering commitment to carrying on my dad's legacy is heartbreaking. So thank you so much for that. The IBA, as you guys have witnessed throughout the day, promotes worldwide boxing, fostering growth and unity across cultures, values that my dad exemplified his whole life. He brought cultures and people together from all walks of life, religions, backgrounds, everyone came together. And it's beautiful to see what the IBA is doing in that respect. Daddy's impact on boxing was immeasurable. He didn't just transform the sport, he revolutionized it. His unique style, his unmatched footwork, we all know, the quick wit that he made him a true force in the sport. But what truly, I think, set my dad apart was his heart, his courage to stand up for his beliefs, no matter what the cost. But my father's legacy didn't end in the ring. We all know that. He inspired others to believe in their abilities, stand firm in their convictions, and use their platforms for change. His greatest victory was not a title, we all know that. It was the lives that he inspired and the peace that he championed beyond the sport. My dad always said, "I'm bigger than boxing." That's what he meant. He transcended the sport because he made it bigger. When he fought for justice and civil rights and his refusal to fight in the Vietnam War, when Daddy said, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong," it became a rallying cry against injustice. The world watched and was mesmerized. They watched and they were inspired. This act of courage and sacrifice inspired other athletes who used the sport for more than personal success, to use it to drive social change. Thank you, Bud. And all the other boxers who took my dad's advice and use it as a platform to make change in your communities. As a humanitarian and global icon, my dad worked tirelessly for peace, whether through his historic trips to Africa or his diplomatic missions to the Middle East. He believed true strength lies in bringing people together, finding unity in the face of division. In fact, 42 years ago this week, my dad was in Dubai. He had exhibitions after his retirement from 1981, but he also was raising money to build mosques in the United States. That's what my dad did after he retired, and he continued to pursue causes that was near and dear to him and helping others. It didn't stop him. I think what my dad what made to me him great was witnessing how he faced adversity, the challenges with racism, challenges with the government that he was living amongst, challenges in the ring, challenges with his wives. But what impressed me the most was how my dad handled Parkinson's, how he handled that condition that he suffered over 30 years. Daddy never complained, never. That's what makes my dad the greatest. I have just a quick example of how my dad never, ever lost confidence in himself, and he never let his condition define him. It was May 2nd, 2010. My dad found out that there was a fight in Las Vegas. He lived in Scottsdale. Daddy flew to Las Vegas. He was so excited. He flew to Las Vegas, and it was the Mosley-Mayweather fight. Went to the MGM. Daddy called us and said, hey, we're going to the fight, but let's meet afterwards, because we watched it on television, and Daddy saw it live at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. We saw it. Daddy was in his prime. He was front row. His eyes were this big. He was so excited. Now, yes, he was excited because he was in his element. But we all know he was looking at the ring girls, too. So, that was part of it. That was Daddy. But anyway, after the fight, we went and met Daddy over at the MGM Grand. And he was with his sister-in-law. Bob was there, my husband, and Biagio and Nico, my two boys, were there. They all went downstairs and grabbed something to eat at the MGM. I stayed in the room with Daddy, just talking. Father-daughter time, which to me is gold. I says, Daddy, how amazing was it to be ringside at the fight? You're in your element. Wasn't that exciting, Daddy? And Daddy didn't say anything. So I said, okay, Daddy has Parkinson's. I understand. Sometimes he, is quiet and can't talk. No problem. I'm patient. 2 seconds later, after I asked him how exciting was it to be at that fight, Daddy said, I think I'm gonna make a comeback. And I started laughing. We collectively started laughing together. And I says, Daddy, first of all, if you were to do that, you would be the only one that could pull that off. That's one. And two, I said, Daddy, if you did that, you would not only shock the world once, but you'll also shock the world twice. And then we both started laughing, and I gave him a big hug and a kiss, and then Daddy said, I'm just messing with you. That's who Daddy was. But anyway, I love talking about my dad, but I just wanted to let you know that my dad gave Nico tons of advice while he was an amateur. He bamboozled Nico into boxing, outside of my permission. But because Nico loved it so much, I think my dad wanted to encourage Nico to box because, in my opinion, I think Daddy felt that Nico was the best part of him, and Nico would be the best candidate to carry on his life and legacy, not just in the ring, but outside the ring too, with his humanitarian efforts and his kindness to others. So I just wanted to let you know, Daddy will be proud of you, Nico, and my son, Nico Ali Walsh, the legend lives on.
I'm gonna start in the amateur program, but I'm starting in the fall. My first fight's gonna be in the fall. So do you have any tips for me? Stay in shape?
Yeah. Do plenty of road work.
What else? What else do you want me to do?
Eat right.
He said eat right.
Eat healthy, Nico. Eat healthy.
What do you think makes a fighter? Like, what do you think is the most important thing about a fighter?
Moving.
Moving and dancing. Nobody dances anymore.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, actually. First off, I want to thank you, Omar Kremlev, and the International Boxing Association for having me here tonight. It's an honor to stand before so many people who share the same passion for this sport that has shaped my life and continues to teach me more about myself. For those of you that don't know, I'm Nico Ali Walsh. I'm a professional boxer that's 10-1. Yes, I rematched my one loss and I got that back, which is awesome. As many of you know, my grandfather, Muhammad Ali, wasn't just the greatest, he was also my hero. To the world, he was a symbol of strength, courage, and conviction, but to me, he was just Poppy. A man who always reminded me to walk with humility and faith, to stand firm in what I believe in, and to never stop fighting for what's right. Growing up with his name was honestly overwhelming at times. I felt this massive shadow that I thought I'd never escape, but over the years, I've come to realize that continuing his legacy doesn't mean copying his footsteps. It means carving my own path while staying true to the principles he lived by: hard work, discipline, resilience, and unwavering belief in God. I turned pro without almost any amateur experience, which, as many of you know, is a tough road to walk. But I've been able to accomplish more than I could ever imagine in just a few years. I faced challenges, setbacks, and plenty of doubts, both from others and from myself. Yet every time I step into that ring, I remember that my journey is not just about proving something to the world, it's about proving something to myself. Boxing has taught me discipline and humility, but more importantly, it's given me a platform to inspire others, which is just what my grandfather did. Every fight I take on, every victory, loss, it's all part of this greater story that I'm trying to write, one where I honor his legacy while building my own. I'm proud of what I've achieved so far, but I know this is only the beginning. And I hope that in some small way, my journey can show others that anything is possible if you're willing to fight for it inside the ring, but mostly outside. Thank you, everyone who has supported me along the way, my family, my team, and to my faith, which keeps me grounded through it all. And thank you, of course, to my grandfather for starting this all. I'm looking forward to hopefully in the future continuing my work with the IBA and continuing this amazing legacy in and out of the ring. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much, Rashida. Thanks very much, Nico. We've heard quite a lot today about how important boxing is to young people, about how it can change young people's lives if they just have the courage to push that gym door and see what's on the other side. And it does take courage. But if you do it, it opens up a whole world of possibilities. Some fighters, some youngsters have a natural aptitude for it. They rise through the ranks and they go on to achieve an awful lot. They become champions, and that's fantastic because it sets a brilliant example. Not everybody will achieve that. And it doesn't even really matter if they don't, because boxing can teach you so many other things. Self-respect, respect for others, the recognition that if you work hard, then good things are much more likely to happen than if you don't. You see youngsters come into the gym with no self-esteem, struggling with all sorts of things. And then a few weeks later, they just got that little bit more of a strut in their step because they belong to a community now and they feel that they've got something that they really want to come to week in, week out. It does so much for so many people. Some people, though, push that door for the first time and they do go on to achieve it all. They do go on to become a champion. And we have one such man with us here today who is one of, he would say, the best fighter of his generation, I'm sure. And he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There is no question about that. A two-weight division undisputed champion. I can't wait to see what's next for him. But he started the same as everybody else, pushing that door, taking a deep breath, wondering what he would find on the other side. It gives me great pleasure to invite up to the stage Terence Crawford.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks to the IBA and Mr. Umar for the invitation. Everybody know I don't like to get up here and speak when I'm gonna do my thing. I appreciate what the IBA is doing with the amateur boxing, paying them. I think that's very critical, coming from an amateur background and knowing how hard it is to train and stay in the gym and focused on boxing when you really ain't got no money and you got family to take care of and you got things that you have to do in real life. So it's very critical. In my stance, you know, the things I had to do to buy boxing gloves, buy boxing shoes, and provide for myself to go to boxing tournaments is very critical. And then to win a national tournament and don't get nothing but a medal or a belt, it's kind of hard. You know, you see a lot of talented fighters come up in the amateur background and win all the tournaments in the world, and you ask them, why you stop boxing? And they say, I have to provide for my family, or boxing's not feeding me, I gotta eat. So it's very critical, and not only for the fighters. You know, you have a lot of coaches as well that put their time, effort, and their own money into these fighters because they doing it for the love of the sport. So I think it's very beautiful what the IBA is doing with, you know, paying these fighters what they deserve and, you know, putting a big prize out for the winner of these tournaments. And that's just going to motivate them even more to train hard, to go in there and do everything that they can do to secure the victory. I think it's very critical for them to do something for the coaches too, because the coaches is the ones that put the time and effort in and everything into these fighters since day one. I started when I was 7 years old. My only goal and dream was to become a world champion. You know, I oversee that. I remember times I had to go hustle. I gotta make this tournament. You know, win the tournament, come home, gotta do it again. First fight, as a professional, I only fought for $600. So it's very tough. The road be very hard, but very rewarding at the top. But everybody don't make it to the top because everybody don't keep their head grounded and stay focused and have the support system like others. I got a nonprofit organization for the youth back in Omaha, and I created the nonprofit organization because I didn't want the kids to grow up like I did, having to worry about gloves, have to worry about who's going to pay for them to go to the tournament and who's going to pay for them to get rides to the tournaments and things like that. So, yeah, I think it's a great thing that what Mr. Omar is doing with the boxing community And if y'all can, just support him, you know, because, yes, us fighters do deserve it because we put our lives on the line. And I think, you know, boxing is heading in a bright future. So, thanks.
Terence Crawford, ladies and gentlemen, very much looking forward to seeing what is next for him in the ring. I was hoping he might give us a scoop there, but all in good time. Everybody will remember, of course, that during the summer, when IBA fighters were picking up medal after medal at the Paris Olympics, the President did promise that they would be granted prize money in recognition of their achievements, and he is, of course, going to make good on his word. So I'm now going to invite up to the stage our Paris Olympians who did manage to medal, and they will be presented with those certificates. So, Mr. President, I definitely need you for this. If you could just step up and join us, please. Okay, so I think the best way to do this is the traditional way. I'll go through it weight by weight. So first of all, could you please welcome Olympic gold medalist at 51 kilos from Uzbekistan, Hasanboy Duzmatov. So moving up to 57 kilos, Paris bronze medalist from Turkey, Esra Yildiz. Men's gold medalist at 57 kilos from Uzbekistan, Abdumalik Kalukov. From Kyrgyzstan, the silver medalist, Munobek Saitibek Ulu. Representing Bulgaria, bronze medalist Javier Ibanez. To 63.5 kilos, silver medalist from France, Sofiane Umeha. Representing Georgia, bronze medalist Lasha Garuli. In the 71 kilo category, another gold medalist from Uzbekistan, Asad Kuja Munikujayev. At 80 kilos, silver medalist from Kazakhstan, Nurbek Oralbay. In the 92 kilogram weight division from Uzbekistan, gold medalist Lazizbek Mulajonov. Representing Azerbaijan, silver medalist Lauren Alfonso. And representing Spain, bronze medalist Emmanuel Reyes. Up into the super heavyweight division from Uzbekistan, gold medalist Bakadir Jalolov. From Spain, silver medalist Ayub Gadfer. And last up, but certainly not least, representing France, our bronze medalist Jamili Dini Abudou Moinza. Okay, that completes the Olympic parade. If everybody could just stay where they are for a second, I think we're going to try and get the president into the middle of the line up there for some photos. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a fantastic way to round things off. Thanks, everybody, for your attention this morning, for your company. I hope everybody enjoys the Congress and enjoys the gala dinner tonight. We're going to have a few more photos. I think this isn't over yet. Anybody who fancies a photograph, make sure you get into position. As we're doing that, great to be joined by another undisputed champion down in the first row here, Artur Beterbiev, who we saw at the fights last night. Absolute pleasure to have you here, sir. Okay, so I think Sofiane Umahar and Lauren Alfonso are primed and ready to go. They're armed with a couple of microphones. So, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Bonsoir à tous. Merci, you speak French. Donc, merci à Omar Kremlev.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Olivia, for doing everything for us, the boxers, to represent this big family. So thank you to everyone, and I hope that the boxing in the next years will be much better. Thank you.
Quiero darle las gracias al presidente Umar.
I would like to thank the President, Mr. Umar, for everything that he has done for the IBA, for the prize money that he has given to us that really does help us a lot to continue our journey. And this shows that the Muhammad Ali of this year is the best president, and we want to wish good luck to all the family of IBA.
Up for this 5th IBA Global Forum. Thanks very much for joining us. Still plenty going on today. The Congress this afternoon. Chris Roberts tells me everybody needs to be in their seat by 2:15. 2:15 sharp. We need to be ready to go. There will be Dubai chocolate on offer on the tables, but if you're not on time, then you forfeit it. That is the warning from the Secretary General. So thanks very much for your company, for your patience today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Safe travels, everybody. Well done, mate.
Yeah, just to repeat, everybody, make sure you're back sat in here at 2:15 p.m. 2:15 p.m. sat back in here. Otherwise, you're not getting any chocolate. Well said.